How's it going, guys? It's Mr. Lo4f, and today we've got in the stage 2 contract, so the second lot, got a mission called Bridge Deconstruction, which is a bit odd. Kind of seemed like, yeah, I'd expect it to be called Bridge Construction. And when you look on the map and you zoom in, the bridge is already there. So, to be honest, I didn't really know what to expect. I was kind of assuming that either they've made an error and it was supposed to be bridge construction, or it was just going to kind of build a bit of a fancier bridge. But anyway, as for the route, you got to go up to that kind of warehouse place at the top where you can build loads of different materials. And yeah, I have got trucks there, but I'm going to set off from the garage just as like to make it a standalone mission. I'm going to use this road kind of two reasons. One, so I'm not just doubling back on myself, and yeah, just to mix it up a little bit. And then once I've got that kind of all the way down, cut off over to the left. As you can see as well, sort of around the edges, earlier I got various loafs scattered around the map with radar trailers, so I just drove them like near enough to the edges of the map to get all that sorted. So there's tiny little bits that I've not uncovered, but yeah, they're practically like, I don't know, the size of that little house to the left or something. They're not really that major. Yeah, when I was setting off, I've got the Tayga for this one. I'm just going to edit it out here. All I was doing was grabbing a trailer, but reversing it, I hit the building, and yeah, it was just a terrible job at reversing. I will say, this thing's not got a very good turning circle. I don't know if it's just strictly like the tyres I've got on or whatever. I've gone for the custom muds on this. I pretty much always go for chained, but yeah, if a truck's got custom muds, just for how much wider they sit and how much less you tip over, like obviously if I could combine them, it'd be the best of both worlds, but yeah, that's kind of a big reason for me why I do quite like the custom muds when I can. I think, yeah, custom muds in general are a little bit meh. They're not crap, but considering they're custom muds and they look like they'd be absolute beasts, they're a little bit underwhelming. Yeah, like I say, brought the Tayga, the new Tayga for this one, whatever it's called. I can't remember all the different phone numbers this one's got. Yeah, I wasn't going to bring a trailer, and that's why at the last second I kind of like just, yeah, cocked up even going into the trailer section to buy this. I wasn't even thinking, well, what I was originally going to do when I set off was, I've obviously got a goddamn horse with me. When I get to the warehouse, I was just going to take the loaf out the sideboard, and then I could put 2 lots of consumables, because that's one nice thing in a way with this mission. Yeah, it's a nice little simple run. It's pretty simple for a contract, to be fair. If you compare, you know, like, well, I suppose that super contract or super order or whatever it's called is probably the opposite end of the scale, but yeah, incredibly simple for a contract, but quite nice that you can kind of just do it in a truck and not have to like take a ramped flatbed or like a massive trailer with you necessarily. But as usual, I kind of decided just after I set off out the garage that I don't really want to get the loaf out the sideboard, so inevitably I just thought, sod it, I'll grab a trailer. And the other reason I was like, it's been that long since I've used one of these 2-slot trailers that I just kind of thought, yeah, sod it, we'll use one, see how they're doing these days. This trailer flops around like a maniac as well, but the plus sides compared to the ramped flatbed is obviously it's got sides on it, so when stuff tips it can unpack, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's guaranteed to fall out the trailer. And yeah, just in general, I think the hitch and everything is shorter where it attaches to the truck, so again, even though it flops around a lot, it's never really enough to tip the trailer unless you're kind of also tipping with it. And while I've been driving, you can see I hit some rock and just, it was like 209 damage or something ridiculous that it did, and I don't know how much suspension health you have, but yeah, it must be a tiny bit more than that, because I believe like I had such little suspension life you couldn't even tell I had like a health bar around it. It blew a tyre as well. Again, I could stop at this point and fix it with a loaf. The only reason I didn't was just more on principle that the game, like if I'd taken the damage doing multiple hits or whatever, it wouldn't really bother me, but just the fact that the game, like one little hit and it was just like bang, there goes that, which the game is kind of renowned for in a way. I mean, that's part of the reason, a pretty big chunk of the reason why I originally, way back like a year and a half or more ago now, started taking a loaf everywhere with me, because it was inevitably you were just going to hit some stupid bump that's like not even there really as far as you can see, and it'll, yeah, delete your suspension and wheels and all the rest of it. So that's how, like, or part of the reason, yeah, why I originally started taking a Lo4f. But yeah, I was just kind of out of principle. Like, I'm not wasting 2/3 of my roof rack when I could clip that little rock there, but not even really, you know, like realistically damage it, and it will just go bang and delete me again. So yeah, I was kind of like stubbornly refusing at this point. Obviously, if I was getting seriously stuck and all the rest of it, I would have, but I suppose I could have stopped really and fixed the tyre. It was just probably getting a bit too stubborn at this point. Yeah, cutting across here, so it's where I got the solar panels from the other day. It doesn't really matter either way, but it's just interesting that after you do that contract, like when you kind of restart the, I don't know, didn't restart the mission or anything, but now the solar panel cargo things are all scattered in the river again, they're all back. Which makes me wonder, actually. I know I should have tried it, but I didn't. Is that trailer that sat there? I wonder if you did take that trailer, if that would also reappear again the next time you load the game up, or whatever it is that triggered the solar panels to appear back in the same place again. But I'm pretty certain, well, yeah, I must have completed it because it was one of the contracts, and it wouldn't have let me unlock the that sprinter thing if I didn't. So I was just thinking, is there a chance that I completed the mission and then turned the game off before it had saved again? But yeah, I'd be back on that mission, like, needing to do it, so it can't be that. But yeah, I wonder if you took that trailer and sold it, if, like, the next time the game loads back up, the trailer would be back there, in theory. Probably doesn't matter that much these days, because you got that money mod thing, but that'd, yeah, be a way to cheese a bit of money, possibly. Funnily enough, I was at, what was it, the Taz the other day? For one of these races, actually, I was trying to equip that, and I was trying to remember how I used to do that glitch where you get the front bumper to, like, vanish, so it sort of just deletes the front bumper. I think in the end it was fitting the beacons that made the, like, the whole roll cage thing disappear, but yeah, they've patched that. I remember someone saying they had. I think I even remember trying it, but yeah. So I'll give it a go, you never know. But it was having none of it. And then at this point, this is kind of another reason I went this way, is because this last little bit from, like, the river to now where I'm going to pop out on the main road right next to this warehouse. I've never been this way or anything. I kind of spotted the route when I was originally doing that solar panel mission, so yeah, I was kind of curious just to see, like, is it a bit of a shocker going down this way? It's not terrible. Again, if I'd fixed my suspension, it'd be helping a little bit, and possibly the blown tyre as well, but certainly if you had, like, a trailer and all the rest of it, even a ramped flatbed, it seems relatively flat all along here. It might be a little bit slow and all the rest of it, but yeah, it's doable. It's not like all on mad angles and all the rest of it where it's not even worth the risk. The winches these days, by the way, when I was winching out of that river, I can't believe how crap the winches are now. They've always been iffy for quite a while. Like, when you retracted them in and you get kind of, you know, maybe a truck length from where the point you winch to, they started to get weaker, but these days it's like pretty horrific. I've already had, like, multiple times where I've gone to winch to something, and there's always other ways. It's just more faffing around, like, right, I'll winch to that thing over there, blah blah blah. But yeah, I don't know what it is. They just keep trying to nerf stuff over and over and over. Oh yeah, and I forgot to say, the other reason I cut that trailer loose in the end at some point was because I remembered, like, oh yeah, there's a trailer store here anyway, so even if I was going to use a trailer, I didn't need to drag one the whole way with me. I remembered that time, and I was already going to drive around here to grab a maintenance trailer and all the rest of it, but yeah, having to turn that generator on each time is just one of those things where it's like you're not gaining anything, or you wouldn't gain anything really if it was left on permanent. Once you've turned it on, it's just left on. It's not like some game breaker. But that being said, it would be quite annoying. Imagine if you drove here in, like, a Ford F750 or whatever with a trailer, and then realised that you need to go and turn the generator on, and you've got a Scout and it won't let you attach it. It's just stuff like that where it'd annoy you, but there's no benefit to them. There's never a situation where you're going to be like, oh great, they turned the generator off. Yeah, so we got got the cargo, like you sort of create it as you go there through the different menus. I forgot to, even though I did the maintenance trailer to fix myself, I forgot to put fuel in, so instead of going back round for another lap, I just got it reversed up and borrowed a little bit from the Zix. So yeah, now it's kind of the way I've already been before, but yeah, kind of heading back down the left-hand side of the map, really. I was looking at it, I edited it out there, but the sky, I've not had like a big wormhole thing going on like I did in the other map, Lowlands, but yeah, the sky does keep going like some weird colours. Someone was saying in the comments that around like 5 or 6 o'clock or whatever it seems to do it, and yeah, I noticed that. I think it was about 10 past 5 on this, and it was, I don't know, there was patches of the sky going like jet black, as if the sky's just split open and you can see space, and then yeah, it's going some pretty mad colours. You know, I remember reviewing this truck. Certainly, the same with everything. They seem to do it every season. It's a shame, but yeah, this felt a little bit weak and nerfed compared to what it normally is. And I was thinking, like, well, maybe it's this map that has just got extra kind of nerfs going on. But even when I reviewed that Sprinter yesterday, yeah, there was, you know, even on like original maps on Northport, when it hit that snow when I was towing the trailer briefly and it just completely stopped dead. Like there's, yeah, it had a lot of the same behaviours, like even on all the other maps. Again, that Sprinter, it's not like a terrible vehicle, but it's just not that great. Like there's a lot of other vehicles, this being one, and Vorons, Grads, Taygas, all sorts, that the Dolphin, I could just, yeah, get a normal truck, put it in high gear and go just as fast, all the rest of it. It doesn't really bring anything new to the game. You can't have trailers and all that, so they've kind of forced it to essentially be a scout truck. But then they didn't give it us until we've scouted the entire map and done the races anyway. So I'm assuming there is more races to come in this map and the contracts or whatever. I'll kind of get into that in a bit. But yeah, I'm assuming there is more to come, but still, it's... I was going to say that's what she said. Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's all right. It's definitely not terrible. Like I say, it's not like it really wants to tip, and it is pretty damn easy to get into high gear. And for the most part, if you're going down these sort of dirt roads, it's going to stay in high gear and just plough along. Oh yeah, there's another little look at the sky. But yeah, I mean, like I said, on the live stream, I got that Z2 Dakar mod thing, and yeah, that's just a blatantly better version of a race truck without feeling overpowered at all. It felt incredibly well balanced, to be honest. Like Z2 or whatever the modder's name is, it was good. It was nice, nice vehicle. Along this little section as well, not particularly sure why, it just seemed to be the truck felt even a little bit more gutless than it has elsewhere. Thankfully, it didn't really last too long, you'll see, because I suppose once you climb to the top of this hill, you're about done anyway. I can already tell I'm getting a little bit impatient, dropping the hammer. Did the old, like, little Spider-Man trick, swing around the tree on the inside to... Like, say, the steering is worse on this than I remember. And there, as you can see, in auto, stopped dead, wouldn't even attempt to put power down, wouldn't wheel spin. I went down into the low range and it let me, and it's like, this game's sort of in their never-ending quest to keep nerfing everything until we just have to crawl at 2 miles an hour. It sort of makes me think of like a spoiled kid that they've got it in their head like, oh no, they need to go slower, they need to go slower. And no matter how much anybody can explain to them, look, it's a game, everybody's enjoying themselves and having fun, they have lesser engines and slower gearboxes and everything else. If people really want to go 2 miles an hour, you can go in low gear and go that speed, whether you have 1,000,000 horsepower or what. And yeah, it's just like whoever's making that decision, just they're so focused on like, no, we need to nerf everything, we need to make everything slow, that they've kind of lost sight of the point. I mean, we all strive for the top engines and top suspension and top tyres and everything for a reason. It's a general human nature. I have to say, this Tayga is nice down there. A lot of things catch their chin. It's practically sort of made that way that it's going to. Yeah, this thing rarely, I wouldn't say ever, but I can't remember when I caught my chin once. The main thing I've kind of found with this game as I'm driving around is all the rocks everywhere. Rockman must have had some serious overtime. Yeah, there's just rocks all over the place that, just the way they act in this game, you sort of bounce up off them and they absolutely eat your speed and your momentum really as you're just bouncing around on them. That's the kind of thing I noticed tonight when I was driving around with the Lo4f and a couple of other trucks. Yeah, you're just forever jumping up off rocks that, and then you're waiting to land again and then your gears drop back down, and yeah, it's no major biggie, but Rockman is, yeah, he's definitely been on it. Let's go down the horse. I was tempted at this point, well, it just crossed my mind as I was going past, like, shall I stop, switch vehicle to the Phoenix and just see how that travels for the rest of the way, but to be fair, I'm getting my foot down a little bit now. I'm in high gear, so I'm pretty happy with that. It's a nice pace to travel. Again, apologies, a little glitch there. I think it seems to glitch more like that when I've probably got more stuff on my PlayStation, like every now and then I have to delete a load of things to free up some memory. But I'm pretty sure I still had like a nice little chunk. But apparently not. So now this is kind of like fresh part of the map for me as well. I've been over this way at some point to do the I took a Lo4f and that. I can't remember if I went around the bottom of the map or I went in this way. Such use it, of course. Do you know what? I honestly can't remember. But either way, it's a pretty new piece of the map in terms of like I haven't really had to do any missions over here or anything. By the way, I've seen on YouTube earlier, this is like Amber Heard stuff. She said one of, it might, I was thinking about this, it genuinely might be the most stupid thing anyone's ever said or that I've heard, and yeah, I've been on Call of Duty lobbies, I grew up with a Dave, all kinds of things, but I think like it might genuinely be the most stupid thing. I think it was like Johnny Depp's lawyer had just said something along the lines of like, yeah, she put on the performance of a lifetime in the court, you know, pretending she's been abused, and her response was like, she said, yeah, coming from a lawyer whose client or whatever pretended to have scissors for hands, like, is it because Johnny Depp played Edward Scissorhands? And yeah, she was like, yeah, coming from the lawyer of a man who pretended to play Edward, yeah, who pretended to have scissors for hands. It's like, what the fuck? Does she think that we think that Edward Scissorhands was a documentary? Or does she think Edward Scissorhands was a documentary? Like, you can actually tell, when you think about it, the whole court case and all the rest of it, you can imagine the level of absolute sheer bullshit that comes out of her mouth. If she said that on national TV, imagine the shit she said in private when she wasn't recording herself, because she was recording him secretly, so you'd think she'd have some awareness like, oh, I best not say certain things because this might be heard later. I believe she knew when he was recording her, because I believe they went to some kind of therapy thing, and she was denying she'd said a load of shit, and he basically said, next time we argue, I'll record us so you can hear it back, and she said, yeah, okay. Apparently, that's what happened. But yeah, like, what the fuck? That is honestly the most stupid thing I think I've ever heard. Like, as somebody trying to say that as a serious thing, coming from the lawyer of a man who pretended to have scissors for hands. I mean, even for about an hour, it almost got me depressed. I was eating a sandwich, and it was like, why should I even feed myself this sandwich? When there's millionaires out there that can say dumb shit like that, and right now she will be tucked up in a mansion somewhere. It's like, how? Like, regardless of all the rest of it, I'd ban her from films for life just for that sentence. In fact, if it was up to me, I'd probably have her arrested for saying something that stupid. It's like an actual danger to people. In case, like, that level of stupidity is pretty contagious. But yeah, that's some serious shit when she said that. Like, with a straight face and all the rest of it. You can kind of see on her face that when she said it was a bit like, yeah, that's not very good, but yeah, I mean, that level of, like, just pure narcissism and bullshit. It's funny old world. Oh yeah, at that point, was that the first time and the trailer tipped? But you can see, not that it makes much difference, because one's still tipped out. Thankfully for me, I realised this could be an issue when I set off, so I did put a crane on this truck. And thankfully it all fits with the sideboard and all the rest of it. You can still tow trailers, so it's like the, yeah, like the holy trinity in this game. Crane, sideboard and trailer. You can have them three. It doesn't actually look like a very long truck, considering it lets you have all three. There's quite a few trucks, I think, really, that don't let you have that. I believe even the Dolphin doesn't let you have that, and that's... I could be wrong on that, but I'm sure it's because of the axle. It just, like, moves the crane back further than normal, so it shoves the sideboard back quite a bit. And I'm sure at some point... There's a little service area to the right. I was umming and ahhing, like, well, shall I fly in there and see if it'll fix me up, but I've only got a bit of suspension damage, and that's it. So you can see the trailer going again. It was close. You can see the cargo kind of balance on the little sideboard of the trailer, but it probably didn't help in the scheme of things. I let off the accelerator, so it's I mean, a little bit like lift off oversteer, where it was like, as I lifted off, it kind of slowed me down, kept the trailer kind of sticking out to the right, tipping over. If I'd accelerated before the cargo fell out, it probably would have snapped the trailer straight a bit and kind of kept the cargo in there. And yeah, the crane can't reach, as it usually can't, so you have to kind of reverse and, I don't know, kind of jackknife the trailer a little bit. Which, thankfully, it's the one thing, give it time. I should imagine by Season 8 they'll find more shit to nerf. But you can still hit pack cargo, and it'll jump in like that. For a while, was it on Season 6, kept getting messages saying, like, it's impossible to pack the cargo or some stupid shit. I don't believe I've had that since. I had that one, though, where it said you're packing more than you should. Story of my life. And yeah, it's going to delete whatever's over. So anyway, finally get here. I was almost going to do, like, press cargo management there, and I thought, just because it says bridge deconstruction, I thought, well, I'll drive over the bridge. You never know. It might be my last chance to drive over it. Funnily enough, while I was going there, I was like, is the bridge wobbling and flexing, or was it me wobbling? I think it was me in the end, but the water going underneath, just for a second, like, tripped me out. I thought the bridge was moving. So anyway, drop the stuff off, and yeah, it's like, what the hell? It literally does delete the bridge, and I haven't got a cat in hell's chance of being able to read the text at the minute, because it shrinks the screen to, like, about a quarter of my TV's original size. But it says something along the lines of, like, yay, now we've moved that bridge. Something to do with a race, hence why I said I assume there's more races to come in the contracts and all the rest of it. And then it says something along the lines of, like, now we don't have to guess which truck causes the bridge to collapse or something, but yeah, it's like, okay, so your idea was just to remove the bridge? Isn't that, like, I'm not going to wear a condom because there's a slight chance it might have a hole in it, so I'm just going to not wear one? Like, coming from me, I'll fucking wear them. Try and wear it on my head. I'll put it out a car window and make it blow up to, like, 4 foot, but that's about it. Yeah, long story short, you can kind of cut around this side to left or right, depends which way you're facing. Again, it's a bit of an odd one. It'd make more sense for them to not code the bridge in and then, yeah, us add the bridge and then say, yay, Now we can drive across it for the race. But then the even weirder thing is, it leaves all those wooden posts all throughout the water. So you can't even, like, drive where the bridge used to be. And as you seen a minute ago, as I was driving through the water, I was able to drive between all these stupid posts. The water gets fairly deep. I was seeing if I could sort of bounce over each little pylon, but yeah, there's a single wheel at the front and it just drops down between the gap. And there's not enough bite. Possibly with chained it might help, because it just seems like the chain had like little notches to the wheel, so it might be able to claw its way up. Yeah, I went to turn around and reverse just because I kind of figured double axle at the back, maybe that will have enough to kind of bridge the gaps, and it was looking good up to now, and then yeah, not quite, and you can see as well the next one definitely would have fell down that one anyway. And yeah, as I was flooring it, I was kind of dragging my entire axle underneath, so like, damn, I might be stuck. Where's Edward Bridge hands when you need them? And yeah, I managed to bump up the back, but now the front's getting stuck. And I'm sure I could fling winches out, even though they're gutless and crap these days. But yeah, in the end I decided, Tayga, you can live here now as a little memento. I will very likely come and yoink the loaf out one day when I'm in the area. But yeah, for now, they can stay here and keep an eye on things. But yeah, that's about it for today. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope that helps. Thanks for watching. Thanks to my Patreon members. Get yourself a loaf, because he's a goddamn beast. And I'll be back soon.